And it would help if I actually unmute my microphone because, that's the way it's supposed to work. So welcome back one more time as I get us going to a Monday night of Seeking Revonar campaign. This is a 5e West Marches style campaign, and we are about to pick up where we left off from last week after we had a run-in with a adult black dragon. The heroes were able to severely wound it to the point it decided to retreat. So it is gone, and we are going to pick back over at the keep and decide what the rest of our adventure is going to be like for tonight. So get all ready, get your drinks ready, sit down, buckle up. Tuck yourself in, however you're watching this. If you're watching this on YouTube later, either way, awesome to have you here, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's set the scene. You guys we're going to go ahead and pick back up as you enter the keep. It would have been just after dusk, so it would be dark. As you do get to the keep, you can see torches lit up on the wall. Right now I'm kind of imagining from the keep on the left-hand side is kind of the thing I'm imagining has been built at this point on top of the ruins of the Abbey. Some of the construction's still going at this point, but most of it is pretty much finished. And to do just a little bit of bookkeeping at the beginning, we'll also need to take care of some XP, since what they're going to do is go ahead and use their downtime, long rest, and all that stuff's going to happen here real quick. So, first things first, there was an adventure or an encounter that happened with everybody but Tom, I believe. Yep. And that was back with back on was that the 21st? Nope, that was back on the 14th. So everybody but Tom can go ahead, and I'll put it in chat here too. So for the Venom Troll encounter, each player would have acquired 1,450 XP. 1,450 XP. Thanks. All right. Then we had everybody for the rest of the stuff. So then we had the fight in the Guardian Cave. We had a fight with the dragon. And then those are the only other two things that happened before the last session. So let's see. Let me add that up for you. This will be all the players get this, so all 5 players get this. 1,480 plus 575 equals 2,055 XP. So 2,055. All right, and I assume that does not mean anybody levels, right? Or does anybody level at that point?
I'm so stinking close.
I don't.
Yeah, because everybody had leveled before, like 3 or 4 sessions ago. So, all right, so that takes care of that.
That dragon.
Yep. Treasure-wise, we didn't have anything from that. Didn't have anything from that. Venom Trolls was, oh yeah, you guys saved a caravan, so that's part of your job. You guys get paid to do that, so okay. So we'll have about a few days of downtime where you are staying here in the keep. I think one thing would happen is that there would be a meeting called. Maybe as you guys are coming in, we'll kind of set the scene. So you walk in, you look battered, dirty from diving out of the way of an acid breath. Some of you have armor that needs repairing, so you're already starting to take that stuff off and then hand it to various people that come up. And a quick meeting is called. Everybody meets in the Great Room, and you have Captain Dorn, Wayfinder Rieger, and Lady Megara attends, and she gets like refreshments and stuff for you as your gear is being taken over to the blacksmith, or some of the people that are just around offering to help clean it up and get you out of it, and then waiting to hear what's going on. And then you kind of see as they see you guys come straggling in, and some of you are pretty look like you've definitely been in a fight. The guard look straighter, and there's a few more people grab their weapons and stuff and get up on the walls, and they kind of go on high alert a little bit as you guys make it back to the Abbey. So we'll pick up in the Great Room with everybody's kind of sitting around a big table. We have Wayfinder Rieger, Captain Dorn, like I said, all of you there at the table, dressed down at this point with your equipment being fixed, and Lady Megara is coming in with some of the other servants of the household, starting to bring in different chilled waters, wines, beers, or whatever, and placing them on. And then maybe there's like you can see like a block of cheese on a wood cutting board, and maybe some meats that are being laid out for you guys as the scene starts.
Looking about the room, Albirix takes it all in wearily. I would ask that we all raise our cups to a very brave soul facing that black.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink some mead.
He gave his life for us, and therefore I believe he gave it for you as well. He is a hero.
He's just mostly dead. We're gonna bring him back.
And who possesses magics of those sort?
Not yet, but I can get it. Either the resources for it or figure it out somehow.
So Captain Rieger kind of sees you guys talking, or I'm sorry, Captain Dorn, and he's like, well, what happened? All we heard was noises. Sounded like a few miles away, but it was loud enough to carry. Should we be on guard? Should we be readying them in?
Yeah, probably. Decent sized black dragon.
Yeah, you would definitely see his eyes kind of go wide, and Rieger's eyes are kind of squint a little, kind of almost in anger, as you can tell there's a real animosity between the elves to the north and these three dragons that have harried them to the point of there's only one elven city left.
Yeah, we nearly killed him, but he flew away. And he seems to have a beef with us and the poor fellow here that died. So if we're not here, the odds of him attacking the keep are low. They'll probably track us down. So he should be mostly fine once we leave.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to have a plan in case of a dragon attack, since there are several of them.
Sure. I agree with you. We have no resources to deal with it. This would be a little bit like a daycare trying to worry about being attacked by the Marines.
Bastion has defense. We need something like that.
Yeah, because I feel like our rank and file in the keep would have basically zero chance of doing any significant harm to the dragon.
The elven warder Rieger kind of nods, and He says it's known that, and he says a word in Elven that means the hunter guards the western mountains, harrying us from hundreds of years before, when our people kind of migrated to here, trying to get away from the three, and kind of says it in a way that it's like a capital TH, or a capital T in the three. They will not leave us alone, and they will not rest until we've been destroyed. He says, I'm surprised the hunter, and he says it in the Elven word again, but he's speaking in common, but then he uses the Elven word for the name, would venture so far to the east. This would be clearly one of the other dragons' territories, and they do not take trespassing upon each other's territories lightly. What would bring them this far east?
I believe it was our friend Vormar. He seemed to have been hunting him, for he had escaped. It was something he never spoke of. And when the dragon ambushed us, it became apparent very quickly what had happened.
And he tracked you back to here. He must have been on your trail for days then.
I can assure you that that hunter will become the hunted. He has not seen the last of us.
He nods and he's like, many elven warders have moved on to another life trying that endeavor. I wish you success.
Thank you for the well wishes, but this time will be different. I can assure you. It's lucky it escaped from us.
He nods. Captain Dorn kind of sends one of his lieutenants that was in there, and you can hear a lot of commotion on the outside as a precaution. He has, doubled the guard and has many of the soldiers preparing just in case.
Tree priest, will you help me bury this man? She's looking at you, Albiorix.
Absolutely.
I
looking at the
can't
warders.
move enough earth.
Looking at the warders, do you know much about these bear men?
He says no. It has been... And he pauses a moment because you can tell he is... well, give me an insight check for anybody that's trying to pay attention.
I am.
Yes.
24?
Get all those good rolls out of the way. Yes. Yeah, you can tell that the pause before he continues is he clearly is thinking about how much he can tell and how much he has to keep back. So it's clear he's keeping some information back when he pauses and then says, it has been 5 centuries since my people have crossed the Western Mountains and that we were harried here. We had never seen any creature like that when we were living in the lands to the west, when the great elven kingdoms resided. What remains there now, none of us know, as no elf has made it across the Western Mountains and back again. The dragons hunt relentlessly any elf they can find, and these 3 will harry us and destroy our city if they can.
I wish I knew the burial rites and the wishes of his type.
Clearly bone vault.
With that, I kind of make a weird face, like who would want to.
Didn't he have like a bunch of like scrimshawed bones and stuff on him?
Yep.
That would seem reasonable to me. Boil him, carve his bones with his name and his deeds.
Mm-hmm. And then resurrect him later when we can.
This seems
sure,
like
that's the
grisly
thing.
work.
I'll do the carving.
Perhaps we could set him to rest in the grove, so that he might be at one with the land. He would be safer there than in some bone vault.
That seems unlikely. Letting nature eat him? You.
He's a bear.
Yeah, apex predators. They don't get eaten by other things.
Like a druid grove sounds wonderful.
Sounds kind of hippie.
Versus a basement.
Rhaegar would say,
Man cave.
the elven warder, it seems presumptuous to decide their customs of their people based on their appearance.
Well, welcome to humanity. And then we move on.
He's
We
like, the
don't
dog-faced
exactly have
gnolls
another
are not
way.
as noble as the dogs that are in camps and in the wilds, the wolves, but they share that same look and
Bah.
I would tend to agree with you that he may be different than what he appears to be.
Well, it's not like we have
He
any way
was-
to ask him.
If we made it back to Bastion, we could speak with someone there who has the magics. Balthazar does, for certain.
I think Lady Megara would also say, does the church in Bastion not have those willing to raise heroes? I mean, I know it must be expensive, but you do have a keep now.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Perhaps we could put him at rest for now, and when we return from the Black Pyramid, the untold riches of its depths may be able to pay for him to come back to this realm.
That is much my thinking as well.
I think you would know that the temple in Bastion. I mean, if you make a promise to them, they know you will honor it.
Like, you can get a raised dead on spec.
I mean, they know where you live.
You know what? And we've done a bunch of shit for him. Perhaps we should go. If they
How
would
about
do
this?
this for us,
How about you had crap you wanted to do, right, Sasha, to get ready for the Black Pyramid? I could take Rock and the dead bear guy and go deal with the resurrection. You guys can prep for the Black Pyramid however you want, and then it'll take us, what, 3-4 days to go back and forth?
I just had a training montage I had to do.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure unless Dan really wants us to, it can just be we go back and forth and it happens or it doesn't.
All right.
Yeah.
Mistletoe's
you.
probably going to want to go with you, too.
Definitely.
Sure.
Eingar's going to want to go to talk to Dankles.
All right,
About the,
so we're just leaving Sasha alone. Does that seem like a smart idea?
He'll grow some
Megara will
trees.
take care of him.
Contemplate on the tree of woe. We'll be back.
Yeah, we don't even have to. I keep getting the name mixed up in my head. I keep thinking Sturm for some reason, but it's Torm. I don't know why. But yeah, so you guys would be able to go there, and this could all be down in the downtime that we were talking about. This can happen after this night. Is there anything else you want to do tonight? And I'll just kind of fast forward us if not.
Not really.
Nope. I want to do one thing when they're gone, and that's when they're gone. I would like to do something.
Yeah, so we'll just say over the 3 days, you make it down there. You're able to talk to who is currently the high priest of Torm. They know Tom's benefactor from the Sword Coast. They also know how much the group has helped the Port Bastion. They also know that currently you guys are keeping the northern road and the trade between the two towns safe. That's why you guys are up there. So all of that is, if you're willing to meet their demands, they're willing to, do this now, and then you can pay them. And I think in the, I think it's 5,000 gold for a resurrection in the book, I believe.
Could be. Resurrections on, well, it depends how many days it's been, really. A full resurrection requires 1,000 gold piece diamond.
Yep.
And then whatever they want to charge for a fee. Raised Dead is a 500 gold piece something. I forget exactly what.
Yeah, I think for Revonar,
is 500 diamond.
a res is going to be $5,000, just a straight big fee.
Okay.
I want it to be impactful enough that it can't just be done, like we're raising farmers and we're raising everybody all the time. It's got to be something impactful.
That's totally fine. The Raised Dead takes within 10 days.
Yeah. And then the other thing they ask is that they currently are seeking information about you get the impression there's something they've found. They're getting more information about it, and they may call upon you to help them investigate it in the future.
Is it evil?
They're investigating.
So it's probably evil.
Do they phrase it like that?
They give you very little information, and they make it a point to say, we're willing to bring back your friend if you're willing to lend us your sword arm in the future.
Sure. Smiting evil? My guy's all about it. It's things for Rock to bash heads in, so he's got to be pretty happy with that.
Some type of church business.
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
Yeah, it's a yes. It counts.
That's maybe an orc.
Yeah, well, I live in Minnesota right now, where we say yeah and no. So I'll just take it as a yes.
All right, so write that down as a debt to the group. They perform the ritual on Vormar, and he will come back. And what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to let Cedric play him as a companion character. So just like you would have a sidekick or you would have a retainer, like in the old Dungeons & Dragons days, I'll just so that way I don't have to worry about doing all the roles and all the stuff. And the only thing, Cedric, is just try to play him. I'll do all the talking, like if people are asking about history or that kind of stuff. But like when we get into fights or whatever, you can do his initiative, you can do his attacks. He's pretty much a barbarian kind of fighter, so just play it that way, and I think I'll let you run with it.
I mean, he's a barbarian.
I'm going to give you a character sheet so you'll be able to click on all the stuff, but he's basically like a barbarian.
I see what you did with that whole barbarian.
Yeah, I was more playing on the bear part, but yeah, totally.
Yeah.
What kind of dog is that?
Bearbarian. We'll call him a bearbarian.
A climbing one at the moment.
All right, so we have Vormar back. Let me put that character sheet so Cedric can do that.
Mistletoe will welcome him back and spend like an hour trying to ask him what it's like after death, which I'm assuming he will not tell her.
It's a good thing we didn't bury you.
I see what you did with that.
Here's what you do know. Actually, he does kind of interact with you a little bit with the group. He seems to have lost some of his long-term memory. He seems to have all of his short-term memory, and it seems like over the next few days and over the next weeks and months, his long-term memory starts to come back, but at the moment, he's not able to access a lot of that.
Interesting.
And when asked about, like, if anybody asks what's the other side like, or what was it like, he doesn't seem to recall anything. He doesn't seem to know what it was, or he can't remember, or there was nothing and he doesn't know. Seems uncomfortable talking about it. All right, so that'll take care of that. Then you guys will head back. Pelennor, as far as the Dankel stuff, is there anything you want to do there?
We can do that off during the week.
Okay. Yeah, we can just assume that you can have a conversation with them or get something set up or started.
That'll work. We
can do that in Discord, and they come back. So then, Sasha, while they're gone, what are you doing?
Solution on here, the frenzy ability. So is it he only attacks recklessly when he's in his frenzy? Is that how I'm reading that correctly?
Oh yeah, I shortened it because when I was using it, I didn't want to write all that stuff in. But yeah, it's basically just like the barbarian rage.
Okay, and then he automatically attacks recklessly. He doesn't.
Yeah, it's just all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, he goes into that rage and he's that whole time. His comes back after a long rest, I think it is.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
When I stay back, how far, when everyone leaves, how far were we from where the dragon came?
You guys were attacked. Well, you mean where you were attacked?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys were probably about an hour to the south of the Abbey when you were attacked.
Okay. When everyone leaves, I am going to rest up for a bit, and then I am going to turn into a wolf so I can travel quickly, and I'm going to go back to where we were attacked.
Okay.
And then once I get there, he gets to the area. I'm going to sniff around and stuff, having the new senses. Do I smell the scent of what all had happened and everything?
Yeah, especially the overpowering scent of the acid spray. 60 feet of acid breath across the ground.
Okay. I'm smelling all of this stuff and just taking it as it washes over my senses.
And also Eingar's fear. You smell that, still pretty pungent.
Some dwarf fiddle.
Skaven Fear Musk.
I am going to wild shape back into myself and cast Speak with Plants.
Okay. One thing you do find is a single black dragon scale.
Badass. First part of my new armor started. actually, so as I find the scale, I notice it out of the corner of my eye, and I pick it up and start to cast the speak with plants, and I do the ritual for this, and once my awareness reverberates into the wilderness around me, and I feel the plants seem to shiver with a sentience, I would like to try to speak to them.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to. Have you seen that black beast before?
I think all around you, the trees shake. The grass kind of sways as if a wind blows through it, and you kind of hear a whistling noise that kind of goes through all of the branches. There's no leaves on the branches at the moment. You guys are leaves are down at this point, and or they're more like the dead leaves that are mostly starting to fall, and you take that as it's basically, you know, that to be a no answer.
Have you seen one like him before?
Yeah, and then you hear just like, it's like the clacking of the branches, almost as if they're hitting each other, clicking each other, and that's a yes.
Had the black beast been there long waiting for us? I know long is hard for
you
a tree.
Get silence, and I think you immediately then realize time's going to be a tough concept for them.
Was
because it was like an eye blink in the eyes of a tree.
Right, exactly. And I realized that myself. Was it waiting for us when we came to this?
Yeah, I would think you would get this swaying of the branches and the swaying of the grass, and the answer of yes. It lied in wait.
Do you fear this thing?
You get the no answer.
Okay. That kind of makes sense because reasons. All right. Is there anything that I can do for you before I travel back to my grove?
And actually, you notice at when you're speaking with them that it's your grove is answering. Your grove's influence reaches this far.
Oh. Good to know. Did they answer anything when I ask if there's any deed I can do?
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any answer to that. And I think it would be, these are not the trees you planted. These are not the ones that you are creating, but it's linked in some way to your grove. So basically, mechanically, out of character for that would be the hex that we're in, where the Abbey is. Your grove is in tune with that hex. So it's about an 8-mile area.
Okay. Pretty satisfied with that. We'll make some offering to them of thanks before I go, and tuck the black scale into my pack, and then wild shape and travel back to the Abbey. Well, to my grove, not to the Abbey.
All right. And I would say that scale is probably about a 20-inch scale.
Damn, I wish it could be a shield.
The adult
That's a buckler right there, buddy.
Yeah, the adult ones are probably just a little bit small. If the ancient ones are definitely each scale is the size of a shield, a heater.
Okay. You know what? I am going to go back to the Grove and rest that night, and then the next day, I would like to try to make it to the Armory before everybody returns. But that's my day.
Well, yeah, whatever you want to do. They're on their way back.
I want to see if I can put this dragon scale as a small breastplate in the middle of my see if they're capable of doing such a thing.
I think the armor could make it, if it's just going to be cosmetic and it doesn't actually going to add anything, then yeah. But he also mentions that if you get enough of this material, maybe just a tiny bit more, it could be worked into actual armor. So do you want to just add it as something that's just decoration, or do you want to save it in case maybe you get more of that stuff and actually turn it into a real, actual functional dragon scale armor?
Would I ruin it if I used it for decoration for now?
Yeah.
Guess I'm going to have to save it.
All right.
Actually, no. I'm going to put it right on my armor for decoration because if I run into this dude again, either it's his or my butt that's going to go. So.
Okay.
So yeah,
So he's going to need your breastplate, and it's going to take some time.
Sure. Do that.
You want to drop your armor class down some? What would you be? What would you wear instead?
Oh, is this going to take like the next week or two? Or...
Oh yeah, he's going to work with dragon scale, which yeah, it's not going to be a quick 1-day job.
Yeah, man, this can wait.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to need this when we head to the old BP Slaughterfest over here. All right, I thank him for his time on this. And then the rest of the time I'm going to spend at my grove. And then I will also check on the next day, just in animal form, go about the different farms and see how the plants are growing. I know we're off season, but I can tell if the land is feeling fertile.
Yeah, actually, without you realize that this place is like very bountiful. Like anything's going to be able to grow here, any type of crops. The land here is just the best type of growing land you could even find, especially when you start to get into that northern plain. That plain can grow any type of plant out there.
That's perfect. All right.
Cool. All right. So what we'll do is we'll have everybody come back. We'll say like maybe 3 days have passed. The ritual to resurrect took some time. If one of the players ever has to go through it, we'll probably go more in depth into the actual ritual. They didn't really let you guys in during it. It was days of them performing this ritual. It wasn't something that happens in just like 10-minute casting or anything like that. Apparently it was like a full-on thing where priests were rotating in and out. They were doing certain types of, offerings. And one of the things that you pick up on is one of the reasons it's different here is that they've confided in probably Tristan more than anybody, but maybe many of you have heard it, maybe just offhand or maybe as rumor, is that reaching the gods that Port Bastion normally knows of is hard to do from here. Something about this land weakens the link back to the gods they worship in the Sword Coast. So it's tougher and harder to get those things to happen. Other than that, I think we're ready to go. So it's like 3 or 4 days later. Everybody's kind of showing up. Do you guys need to have a planning session, or do you know what you're doing and you're ready to go?
Well, we have multiple possible plans. Personally, I think we ambush the patrol and wipe it. Maybe they'll send out another patrol looking for it, and we can wipe that, which will help limit their reinforcements, and we won't have to worry about returning patrols coming back and ambushing us. Also, we don't have to worry about the frontal assault for that. As far as frontal assault goes, I was looking through my options, and Sanctuary would work. It's not a concentration spell. It's just a 1 minute long normal spell. I can cast it 4 times, so all but one of us could be untargetable for the most part, at least till we get in. That would cover the distance issue.
But then you're out of spells.
First level,
Yeah.
I'd still have 2 second.
I'd rather just hunker down and get in there than you go in there without spells, because
Sure, and then I
We
have
have a
to use
limited
them as
amount of-
healing spells instead, and I'm still out of spells, and you're down hit points.
Or smite.
yeah. In my 35 hit point ass, I would really like to think one of you guys have a healing spell for me.
So another possible option is that there's, even though we haven't found one, there's pretty much 0 chance there's not another exit or entrance into this place. Nobody would build a fortress with literally 1 entrance. So there's got to be something somewhere.
Unless it's not a fortress. Could be a temple.
Even so, 1 entrance. What things have 1 entrance?
Do you see the actual picture of the Black Pyramid?
It's a
That-
step pyramid, right? Like Tanichalon?
This is an old school map.
There's only 1 entrance.
Yeah, there should be a handout that shows the overhead version of it.
Yeah.
I've still got the pass without trace if we want to try that again, too.
It doesn't help when you're approaching, right? It just keeps it so people can't track you.
Oh,
No,
it
you're,
gives
you're
us.
kind of in a fog.
It's just a flat bonus to stealth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Okay.
You just gave me a
Well-
great idea. I could cast Fog Cloud when you cast Pass without. You cast Path without trace. We get up there. I cast Fog Cloud. We could. I mean, but the problem is with Fog Cloud is we can't see through it. But it would allow us to get in there.
You don't think they're going to notice a fog cloud wandering across the path into the pyramid?
No, I'm saying I cast Fog Cloud in the pyramid.
Oh, so
that
they
we
can't
can,
see out.
so they can't see out, and then we'll,
It does, however, have them sound the alarm, because I don't know about you, but if I was standing there and a fog cloud shows up, that'd be enough to tell someone what's going on.
I'd rather fight them in the entrance than in the caves or the hallways, personally.
The
Yeah.
description on Pass Without Trace is there's a veil of shadows and silence radiates from me, masking you and your companions from detection.
Well, that's definitely better.
Also, conceivably, if things are going to shit, I can sprint up and drop darkness on the gateway while we close.
Rock. What say you?
My job is to hit and get hit. I don't care how we get there. But I am very fast, and I will make all of you fast, so. He doesn't say that. That's all he can bring to this fight.
We can discuss this while we are on our way. I yearn for this pyramid. And with that, he's got a toothy grin and his eyes are slanted and bright.
I think it would be wise to pick off at least one of those large hunting patrols.
That is wise. Let us do this.
I'm ready to go.
I am ready to go.
Let's go.
All right, you have everything you need?
To the montage!
All right, so what equipment you have written down is what equipment you have.
One healing potion for me. Does anyone over here have healing potions beside me?
I am looking.
Negative, Red Rider.
I am out. I gave mine to somebody.
We used all of them off of the cloak.
Ooh, I would like
Off
to
the
do
road.
one last thing before I leave the group. I would like to gather up some spiders.
What's wrong with you?
Good call.
Yeah.
I
That's the
can-
words of a man who has a large insect.
So I can, Lucian, I can speak with animals. So I am going to come up with some stuff that they would like to have and keep them, trying to make friends with them.
You want to
Okay.
make friends with spiders?
Yeah, man.
I travel far away from him.
Yeah.
I don't know
Can
where he is, but I'm never within 10 feet of him.
Yeah, because they're not like happy being inside anything. They want to be like on your shoulder, on your head, or on your.
I'm good with that. Can I do that? Would you like a charisma roll or anything of that nature?
No, you're. I mean, you can carry a couple of spiders, I suppose. I don't see any reason you couldn't.
Weirdo.
Perfect.
I would definitely say they're upon your body. So if any type of area of effect damage happens, they'll be affected.
Of course.
You know, breath weapons or.
And I'm letting them know, like I'm not lying to them a bit. I'm telling them that I'm taking them to feast.
All right. They look at your party members with salivating glands. I don't know.
Little All right.
All right. So are you traveling for speed? Are you traveling? The way it would work right now is a normal journey. You guys could travel for a day, make camp, and you'd probably be about 8 miles or so more to go, right? So it's like 3 hexes almost. Normally, you guys could travel 2 hexes. If you're going to hurry, you could make it there all in that one day. You'd be getting there just as like the sun is setting, or you would have to travel a little bit past,
It sounds like a recipe for exhaustion.
We may want to go half or 3/4 of the way and then rest and then be stealthy after that if we want to catch the hunting parties or any patrols.
Yeah, do we have a sense of what the radius of their patrols or raiding parties is?
Nobody's investigated. The only thing you do know, and Cedric, you kind of only saw this the one time. They've seen it, well, a couple of them have seen it a couple of times, some only one time. You travel through forested mountain ranges, so you're traveling through a lot of up and down ravines, heavily forested. And when you get close to the pyramid, there's this ravine you go through that has like 60-foot walls of just sheer kind of rock face. You go for about a mile down that, and then you get to where it just all of a sudden opens up into this what looks to be almost like a crater with a mountain sitting in front of it. And the mountain obscures the pyramid that's behind it. So anybody that would have come down that before might have only seen, this big crater and this mountain there and not thought too much of it. But they followed the tracks and found that behind that mountain was where the pyramid sits. The tracks that they did find go in and out of that ravine. So there are many parties of tracks that go in and out of the ravine, and they did head north and south. And you do know that at some point they must have ranged far enough to destroy the Darkling village. But nobody's really followed them for any directions.
I think they wander aimlessly, taking what they will from wherever they might go. They're crude, vicious creatures.
Do we need to set up for patrol ambush, or can we just
I think Pelinor's right. If we go like 2/3 of the way there, or 80% of the way there, then camp out, then try and hit a patrol in the morning.
Yeah, and I think that also helps us from running into more than just.
So traveling at normal pace that you guys, any adventuring party would move if you don't use Rock's ability to move quicker than normal. You guys move 2 hexes. You would make camp, and you would be about 8 miles from the pyramid when you are making your camp, which is about a half day's journey.
Do you want to get a little closer, like 5 miles out? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think if we can get there early in the morning. What would be the wee hours for a nocturnal creature? Would it be like 6 or 7 a.m.?
Sounds about right.
Is anybody a nocturnal creature?
I look at Albirix.
I'm certainly not a morning person, if that's what you're asking.
Have the freaky druid ask his abomination spiders about it.
They chitter towards Tristan. They don't like Tristan for some reason.
They yearn for your flesh.
It's fine.
I think we
spider
should.
leg is tasty.
We should use the sunlight for as long as we can. For those of us who cannot see.
Are there any animals, critters, birds, anything? Is this area devoid of that?
No, there's plenty of wildlife out and about.
I would. Hang on.
And during what time though? When are you talking?
As we start to travel, we get within that, within 10 miles or so of the. I would like to use Speech of the Woods. Speech of the Woods to, and when I do this, I will take some of my bread out of my pack and try to, share some of my food with the critters as I'm just trying to describe the patrols and ask if they've come this way.
And you're doing this so just before you make camp, because that'd be 10 miles out, would just be, an hour or two before you were going to make camp normally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you start there. There seems to be quite a bit of animal beasts around: birds, squirrels, chipmunks, raccoon. Just a whole plethora of forest woodland creatures. And the only thing you're getting from them all is don't go north, danger.
Fair enough. And I will be sure to put out a full ration and spread it out so that whatever critters are nearby can have some food.
And then all of those critters are moving south quickly.
It seems that the animals about here say not to go north. There is danger. It seems, well, that's where we're going. And with that, I'm going to diggy badger hole.
Well, you
Once
would
we get
definitely
spot.
recognize their nervousness.
Can I do an insight?
It's plain. You just recognize right away they're not acting normal.
Did they describe what kind of danger?
No, they just fear. You just get the feeling of fear from them. Don't go that way, and it's to be north. Now you guys are traveling west towards the pyramid. They're saying don't go north.
Could the pyramid's been here forever? Could the dragon have fled north and chased everybody out?
Maybe. Eingar, What's your favored terrain?
Drink?
No, favored terrain.
Oh, it's I've got mountains and woods.
What are
Forest.
we in currently? That counts as his favored terrain.
I believe so.
Cool. Do you want to use your ability to primeval awareness and see if there's a dragon within 6 miles of us?
Yeah, I could do that. I planned on doing that before we sacked out, but yeah, I can do that now. So I'll sit down and kind of cross-legged and start. You'll see me just kind of look serene and start close my eyes a little bit and just start concentrating on the woodland around us.
Okay. Your senses kind of reach out, and you do not detect any aberrations, celestial, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead within 6 miles.
Well, at least we're pretty safe.
Do we
At least
want
we
to
know it's
go
not
and
waiting for us right here.
do we want to go until that starts pinging on the edge? So we know we're about 6 miles out from where the enemy are and they can set up camp? Because they had a bunch of undead in
He
the
can't really use
pyramid,
it like
didn't they?
sonar, because it takes a spell slot each time. It only
Oh, it's
lasts.
a spell slot. Gotcha.
Yep.
If we were to travel 6 miles north for the rest of the day, Dan, would it put us way out of the way for the temple?
No, it just puts you 6 miles north of the
Do we
temple.
then hang a left and start heading west if his next search doesn't turn up?
Sure.
We could do that.
say
I
we
think
do
it's
it.
worth looking.
Close
Yeah.
enough to the keep to be concerned about whatever it is.
Yep, I agree.
Go up six miles north.
All right, what's the marching order?
Rocks in front.
I'm in the middle on my horse.
Eingar's usually behind Rock.
I'm running drag again with Vormar.
Eingar will have his crossbow out.
I'm second to. I'm right in front of the mistletoe.
So we'll just do north is up. The way you guys are traveling, you guys can kind of space yourself out the way you think you would. Oh, let me get you Vormar. I took that off on accident.
Fix your hit points, dwarf.
Thank you.
Replenish your health.
There we go. That's better.
I like Vormar.
He's such a happy fellow.
Ooh, I forgot to ask him stuff while we were going deck on it.
Can you move that token around now, Cedric?
Yep.
All right, you can fill out the bubbles as you need to. All right. So Rock just starts heading north. Now, what are you guys doing? Running as fast as you can, walking. Everybody's moving quietly. What's happening?
If Rock's been told that we're relatively safe for 6 miles north, he'll move us at speed until we get closer to that.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, so if you are, any of you, are proficient in survival, so it means you actually have the skill checked, in about a half mile, you can make a survival check roll. If you do not have it as a proficiency, then don't worry about it. Don't roll. Does that mean you're no longer Totem of the Bear?
That was my level 6 totem. That's the speed
Oh.
one.
How is that represented? Do you carry totems? Does it just mean you have...
I'm glad you asked, Dan.
What is the
When he,
narrative look of that?
When he starts to run, just like his polar bear totem, he will kind of paw at the ground a little bit and maybe hunch over, and that's part of the magic that makes him run. And it just will kind of fall backwards and help the people running behind him, like they're drafting.
So, because it's an elk, do you have to do the antler thing before you start? There you go.
Call me Chad.
And you have your horse, right, Tom? Was that one?
Yep.
That was something we forgot too. I saw it in chat, but we didn't actually say anything about it. Let me get you a token,
Yep.
I guess. All right. Did you take it on your trip to the pyramid, or what have you?
The horse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just used Find Steed out of combat kind of thing a day or so ago and just kept it since it keeps being there forever.
What's your horse's name?
Bob,
Horse with no name.
Does he talk?
to me. I can speak telepathically to it.
And to me,
He doesn't like you, spider lover.
Me, I can speak to animals too.
Eingeir, did you roll your survival as well?
Nope, I did not. Sorry. So that'd be a 16.
Is that because your proficiency bonus is doubled inside of your favorite terrain?
Correct.
All right, Tom. You should be able to move it around when you need to.
Cool, thanks.
And you are
All right.
alert to danger.
So Rock is making speed. Eingar is following closely behind, and then Alberix, you see them go past, and then as your eyes catch something that seems wrong, you kind of stop and you look. And to the west and to the east is an enormous amount of prints on the ground that have broken through this area. And Eingar and Rock missed it as they were moving quickly through the woods, through the forest.
One moment. Wait. And then I'm going to stray off to the west as I say something.
I'll stop.
Yeah, you can see there was a large number of footprints through here, large and small.
Dwarf, Rock, what sort of prints are they? As I squint my eyes to try to look, may I make some sort of survival?
All he,
I'll go over and have a look.
I would like to either help somebody or do it myself.
Okay, which one?
why don't we aid you, Albirix? You're the you've got the highest score.
All right.
You're gonna know more about it.
A natural 20.
Yeah.
More-
So these tracks are clearly of. You're maybe counting 50, 60, maybe more feet. You're seeing interspaced paw prints that look like giant dog prints. You're seeing small barefoot prints. You're seeing some large footprints. But there's so much going through here, and it seems like they're maybe walking in some type of formation, or they're walking together, that it's all just kind of trampled along. There's so many tracks.
How fresh are they?
You're not really sure.
Are they actually animal prints?
Oh no, these are
Are they
humanoid
markers?
humanoid
No.
tracks. They have the stride length of humanoids
Traveling east.
traveling east.
We're gonna follow these things.
What's east of here?
The pyramid.
As
The
you look
pyramid was north of here.
as you look due east, if you were a birds flying, you would be going straight to the Abbey.
Oh,
And actually, with a 28, Albrix, you recognize this kind of animal trail that's now been widened out by whatever's gone through here. This is a trail or track that you guys have taken before to go to the pyramid. When you go to the pyramid, you're always taking the easiest route, the least difficult route. But each time you go, maybe you're 100 yards more north, or maybe you're a half mile more south, and you still make it to the same spot, the different number of trips that you went. But you kind of recognize this as one of the paths you have taken before from the Abbey to the pyramid.
Norker is one of my favorite enemies. Would I recognize their...
Yeah, there's clearly Norker tracks here.
It seems we have found the trail of the returning patrol. We have gone along here once before.
Oh, with the 28, you would realize that this is not a patrol. This is like your mind. The first word that comes into your mind is an army.
Fuck. It is an army.
It's probably not that big, but that's what your mind jumps to immediately.
I'm thinking this is like the bulk of the pyramid.
Are there any giant footprints in there?
Oh yeah, Alberix points some stuff out.
Yes. It is their entire host, if I had to guess. Perhaps we could stay hidden as we follow them back. Because, and he narrows his eyes, I intend to follow them back.
Can we send word back to the Abbey that they're coming? Do we have any way of doing that?
They're going back to the pyramid, aren't they, Dan?
No, these are going to the
Nope.
Abbey.
Well, they're
your
going to
home
the
base
Abbey.
is about to get
Yeah.
riggedy wrecked.
Oh. I don't know how to do that. I mean, if I had Skywrite memorized, I could have done that, but I didn't do that.
We can catch them.
I think we need to do more than catch them. I think we need to beat them back. We need to be there waiting when they get there. Otherwise, that Abbey's going to be gone.
Well, the Abbey has double patrols because they're looking out for the dragon. They have some people to defend it. There'll be something of a siege, and if we get there quick enough, we can catch them in between us and the Abbey.
Woman,
So it's plausible.
Does
can
the Abbey
you
have
ride
outer walls?
behind the paladin?
Yeah, good luck with that. I got a horse.
Can you ride behind the paladin on the horse?
I'm faster than the horse.
Well, that's interesting.
Close.
I am not.
Dwarf, can you
If I
ride
burn
behind
key
the
points, I
paladin?
am.
Yeah, there you go.
If the paladin lets me. I may not like it, but I can.
Ooh, are we
Be
gonna
as
split the
humble
party?
Templars. No, I'm going to turn into a horse so Rock can ride the horse. I'm going to be a rocking horse.
Gonna be some type of horse.
Would you allow such a wild shape?
Well, also realize you're at the end of your day of travel. You were almost about to make camp. You've now traveled a little bit north and realized what you've seen. So keep all that in mind.
Let's raid the pyramid and get all our shit back for free. Just kidding. Just kidding.
And the party takes a step
It's
towards
an
chaotic
option that
evil.
went through my mind.
What
I
do we have
mean,
to avoid a level of exhaustion? What do we need? Can we take a short rest and then move on?
You don't know because you don't know how far ahead of you. I mean, you could catch them in, you know, half mile. They could already be there right now.
But knowing our bodies as we do, could we go for 2 or 3 hours, take a half-hour break, 2 or 3 hours, take a half-hour break, without wearing ourselves down? Could we kind of, truck it along that way, or like, do we have a couple more hours in us of fast movement?
I mean,
Yeah, I would think. I mean, you've done a full day of travel. You're going to turn around, and I mean, again, it depends on how far they are. I mean, if they're at the Abbey, by the time you get back to the Abbey, if you just go straight for it, you're definitely going to have some type of level of exhaustion. If they're not at the Abbey and they're somewhere in between you and there, it could be that you catch up with them and there is no exhaustion, or if they're far enough, there would be. It just depends on how far you have to go.
this is going to be a mess either way we do it, but
we're
we have
never
an
going to know until
obligation.
I think the question is, do we know how much longer we could go, essentially? Not necessarily where they are, but do we know how much more movement we have in us before we would start getting exhausted?
Probably halfway. I mean, if you traveled till midnight after already traveling a full day, by the time you hit midnight, we're probably going to start doing like constitution checks to try to make, or probably not even that, because I mean, you just can't travel nonstop for days on end. It just doesn't work that way.
Let's head back for as long as we can. And when we need to rest, we need to rest.
Let me put it in terms we all would understand. It's the morning of the woods battle, and you got to walk out in your armor to the woods. Except you guys got to do that for 8 hours before the battle starts. You're just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in your armor.
But I gotta go.
Push it till moonrise.
That's why I got a go kart.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna call some security carts down and roll.
Let's follow the trail, see if we can get an idea of the time on it. I mean, you've got a ranger here.
I'd like
who
to
should be able-
look at the tracks and see if I can figure it out. How long it's been since they've gone through.
The biggest problem that you're having, I mean, he had a really good roll. You're not probably even going to get higher than that roll.
Maybe
the
even
biggest
best.
problem is it's easy to follow, but there's so much that you can't get a lot of detail. It's all been trampled over. So the tracks themselves I can tell you the direction for sure. You could probably get closer to the numbers, possibly, but there's so many. It's like, think of walking down the Merchant Row Road at Penzic after Midnight Madness and look at all the footprints and be like, hey, look at that boot print. And oh, look at this sandal print. And yeah, there's thousands, there's hundreds of them.
Right. But let's not use the center of the trail then. Let's use the outside of the trail where something may be stepped and a clear footprint is there. And is it full of water? Have the plants started to spring back up? All you need is one individual footprint.
Those checks would serve you better than the checks in this group.
Okay.
Okay.
I will aid the dwarf as
Survival?
Rock makes this astute suggestion.
Perception?
Survival.
Survival when you're checking for tracks.
13.
So what you find out off of the main trail is you are seeing some tracks that appear to be large wolf prints. And as you're going, it almost is like the wolf prints are either tracking with the group or moving along them in some way at certain distances. They seem to not intersect the main group. They seem to be on the outsides of the group. And they're big.
Like
Probably
direwolf
like
print?
direwolf big.
All right.
And those aren't really a good enough roll. I would say you're gonna estimate that they're maybe 6 hours ahead of you, up to 10 hours ahead of you, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
These tracks on the outside.
With that in mind, I am going to. So we're getting close to bedtime. We're going to try to travel for a couple hours. I am going to turn into a horsey. And then the dwarf can ride the horsey. And then the two fast freakaleeks can run along if they want, or one of them can ride the horsey.
If you can carry Vormar, he's slower than I am.
Oh, I forgot about him!
He's still 40 feet around, so he's not that slow.
Well,
you guys are
rock
nuts, dude.
makes that faster.
Yeah. With Rock, I'm moving 90 feet around. He's moving 80.
And I'm moving 120.
I'm moving 120. We'll put this dwarf on there. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Okay, so we see you guys begin to lope off. You're following the wolf tracks, or you're following the main tracks? Because moving at that speed, it's going to be hard to keep track of a footprint here or there. You're not tracking when you're moving that speed. You're hauling ass through a forest.
The wolf tracks were kind of paralleling the main body.
Yeah.
We're not going to lose the track, though, right? You just said it was 50 people tromping through the forest.
Yeah, if you're moving at full speed, you're not. You're just gonna head. You have to just say which way you're heading. You're not gonna be able to follow a track.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I guess we're gonna try to track as fast as we can inside of the natural explorer favored terrain thing with the. Because it doesn't.
You are definitely gonna be moving quicker than they do. They're walking. They're marching.
And difficult terrain doesn't slow our travel. Along with Rock's doubling the space.
Sure, but we still have to pay attention to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Yep.
Right. How about this? You're talking about an entire force of Norkers. They're going to want to attack at night versus the daylight. Yes?
I would assume.
Are they daylight sensitive?
They're not sensitive. They are nocturnal.
Okay.
But everybody in the fort's going to be human, as far as they're concerned. I'd attack at night.
So we're moving as fast as we can while keeping tracks.
Yep.
Okay. But the question would be, on the same track they're on, the force is marching, or off somehow?
Again, I guess on the tracks that the force is marching.
Okay.
If we're not going to lose it. It's beaten down.
No, that one you can stay right on. You recognize that you're moving quickly. You do recognize you're making noise. Quite a bit of it as you are moving. So we get this scene of the dark, heavy forest, ravines and mountains as you're you're slowly rising in elevation as you go, because you're heading kind of towards the north end of the Spider Mountain. So that whole area starts to rise and rise and rise, and it's all heavy forest, dark forest. Still few dregs and remnants of the webs that used to infest this area, even though it was 50 years ago that this place was swarming with webs. You still see the remnants of them here or there. everything is dim light at this point. Nothing's really breaking through the canopy as far as the moon or anything. And you're making your way, and you travel for probably about 2 hours, making really good time, and just at the very edge of your hearing, you can hear drums beating.
Okay, I'll slow down. We should keep pace until they come closer to the Abbey.
How far do we imagine we're from the Abbey right now?
You guess at this point, probably half a day's travel at normal speeds.
Okay.
And it's the middle of the night.
Oh yeah.
Does it sound like they're still moving forward?
It's at the edge of your hearing, but yeah, I don't know if you would. I mean, I don't know if you would be able to tell that or not. I guess if you waited for like 10 minutes or so, it might. You could see if it drifted off and you couldn't hear it anymore.
Where's our drum noise?
I know. I was going to do all those, but I didn't. Do I still have those? If I do.
Slow to a canter. How much stamina do I feel like I have at this point?
Well, you guys have been traveling for a couple more hours, so.
Shake my horsey head and slow to a canter, but keep moving in the direction.
Should we rest? Let's rest.
We might want to rest before we have to tackle these guys.
Listen
With
for a
that-
change in the drums.
Yeah, stop and listen for sure. I am going to stop. So whoever's riding me is stopping too.
That would be me.
Sure. So, 10, 15 minutes, you stop in place, you're listening, and slowly but surely there's a point where you can't hear the drums anymore.
Start cantering forward again.
I'm hanging on.
I mean, at the rate that we got from the kind of 15 minutes or so where we sat and listening, do we get a sense of how fast they might be moving? In like a very general, like, do we think they might get to the Abbey before sunrise, or we think they'll probably get there sometime tomorrow?
They're probably definitely marching. I don't think, you've been slowly gaining on them. I think that would be clear. I mean, there's no indication that they're at a full sprint or anything like that.
Yeah, I'd say we camp out and then try and cut fast around them tomorrow morning, make it back to the Abbey.
Yes.
I like the idea of attacking them from behind if they're attacking the Abbey.
Me too. We don't have much in the way of attack power at long range. So being in the Abbey is not going to do us any good.
I would think you would be able to guess that if you guys moved at normal pace, like say you guys were marching from this point you're at, you would be reaching the Abbey probably before the sun rose.
Could we take like a half a long rest or
Half a
so?
long rest.
Well, I'm just saying, like more than a short rest. Like lay down for a couple hours.
Let's ask you this: what do we have to do to stave off a level of exhaustion before we get into the big fight? Dan?
I was trying hard not to use those.
Sorry, I'm not going to metagame for you.
I know. We can keep asking you 7 different ways.
Yeah, there's. I can't tell you what you can do. That's metagaming. You don't know what this concept of long rest exhaustion affecting your spells is.
Rock don't have spells.
Yeah.
Rock no half spell.
Do we have any way to send a message or?
I think, yeah, I was just going to say, too, I think Vormar is very anxious because he's watching you guys. You know there's a force heading for your home, and you're hesitating. And he seems agitated.
I'm just gonna head on. I'm moving.
Not that you have to do what he says. That's Vormir's point of view of what's going on.
Yeah.
I'd rather not just march into our deaths. We caught up to them in basically no time. They're not going to go non-stop. They're going to stop at some point and rest.
Or
We
they're
can
going to
catch
attack
them.
at dawn.
Or they're gonna attack at dawn.
Maybe. It's not the SCA. They're not going to kill everybody in 5 minutes.
Well,
You know, they have to siege it. They have
Around
to
is
do
6
some stuff.
seconds. I'm just kidding.
All I'm saying is we don't have Helm's Deep.
No, but it is a building that's reinforced
All right.
with troops in it.
We're beating this thing to death, guys. Let's figure
Let's
something
just go. Charge.
All right, fuck it. Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, we don't have to charge. We either have to stay or not. Talking about it is not doing it.
Let's move at a pace until we can start picking up some of their pickets in the back, if they're smart enough to set up scouts from behind, and then we'll pace them and then attack them if they attack.
And to answer Cedric's question, because I know anybody that would be watching might want to know that too, is yes, the Abbey has been created like a keep, like we saw earlier in the session where we have the picture of the keep. But outside of that is all of the other things. So like the barracks for the fist, there's like some homes and stuff for some of the servants that have been built and put together. The blacksmith is on the outside. There's farms that are around to the north currently, and the grove is to the east of the Abbey. So the Abbey itself has kind of a wall structure with it, but none of the other supporting buildings do, just so everybody's clear.
And if the barracks are outside, they're going to get run over quick.
Well, and there's a lot of innocent people that are going to die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they doubled their patrols before we left looking for the dragon. So I'm pretty sure they're going to notice a large force of ogres, a giant, some gnolls, and lurkers, and move everyone into the keep. I don't think they're complete morons.
The beating drums might be a giveaway too.
Yeah.
All right, if we got to rest, we got to rest. We're no good to anybody. They can hold out until we get there, I guess.
I think we should go.
Because we have at least one medium archery unit and one medium cav unit in it, just from my group of people.
Raise your hand if you want to go. 1, 2, 3, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you don't want to go.
By which you mean rest and go in the morning, right?
I think we should rest.
I'm the deciding vote. All right, here we
Dan
go.
raised his hand. Wait, he doesn't get a vote in this.
I didn't raise my hand. I'm
Wait,
for
what is
rest.
No,
this?
Dan.
We're actually gonna stop, and I'm going to not be a horse anymore, because listening to these guys bicker has driven Albieric's nuts. Do we go or do we stay? Raise your hand if we go. So Mistletoe, Rock, and what's Vormar do?
He wants to go.
Yeah, he would vote go.
And the dwarf and the paladin say no.
Correct.
I'm chaotic neutral, so I'm going to roll a die. High it's go, low it's no. I vote stay. So we're in a 3-3 tie. Come on. And then he changes his mind and says, let's go.
It's time to split the party.
All right.
Like indecision talking about it is bothering me more than anything else.
Well,
You
let's-
realize
have plenty of
without
time.
resting, you're going to lose all your spells, right?
Like just talking is like just 10 minutes of time to figure out what you guys are gonna do.
How am I going to lose my spells?
You have to meditate on them each morning.
I have a full complement of spells. I haven't cast a doggone thing.
It doesn't say that you get to keep them for days and days and days. It says you have to meditate each morning.
They're in my belly.
And to clarify what Tom had said, you have a regular medium infantry unit called the 21st Fist, and you have a regular light archery unit, which are the Rieger's Warders, which is an elven unit of archers. Just for those that are listening.
I say we rest.
All right, let's get it over with.
all right.
All right, you're resting. Everybody's resting. How long are you resting? You're just
I'll take
gathering
first watch.
yourselves, like you're.
I'd say we take
I assume this is a rest, not
4-hour
sleep.
break.
This is like we're resting, we're catching our breath, we're letting our
Okay.
muscles relax, and then moving on. I don't assume anybody's sleeping.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to fight a giant tomorrow.
Dude, everybody's nerved up.
Nobody's sleeping.
Yeah,
How long do
I'd
you
say
wait?
Rest 2 hours, maybe 3, and then take off again. That should give us our bodies enough time to recharge. Cram some protein, some carbs.
So how long do you wait?
Short rest.
1 hour. All right, and then you're on the move.
Yep.
If we
All right.
get close to him, we should probably move a little slower and see if we can catch any patrols or any stragglers. Or are we trying to go around them to get to the castle or get to the Abbey?
No, I like the idea of attacking them from behind,
I do too.
cutting our way through them to the gate. It will be glorious.
All right.
We're moving pretty quick.
So you guys
Hey.
are moving pretty quick. The drums are getting louder and louder. It doesn't take you too long to catch up to where you start to hear the drums. And as you're getting closer, you can hear, they're just starting to reverberate throughout the forest. You start to hear the cracking of branches, and just the amount of footsteps that are happening creates a noise of its own as you get closer to up ahead of you. Do you just go until you run into something, or what?
He's gonna pull his hood up in stealth.
Just in the darkness?
Yeah, but he's gonna keep moving on.
I'm going to slow up.
Ahead of
what
the
kind of
group, or the
mood-
group's with you?
He can go ahead of the group a little bit.
All right. So
Just
Rock puts his hood over him and then just kind of disappears out of the sight of Eingar, Alberix, and Tristan. You're just having to rely on the horse more than anything. Any of you that don't have night vision, you're mostly just trying to follow the blob in front of you more than you can see anything. And so Rock disappears up ahead. What does the group do?
Wait.
Eingar's going to drop back with this group and help Albierix in the darkness. Make sure he doesn't get lost.
Okay.
So we're moving up carefully.
Yep.
So Rock, you're speeding kind of ahead. You're moving quieter than definitely anything around you. You're almost using the pace of the drum beats to mask your fast movement. Normally in stealth, you would be more sneaking, you would be more stalking. But because of the way the drums are beating, you're able to kind of time your move. So you're moving probably faster than you normally would consider yourself moving. There's a lot of noise from all the footprints and broken branches and bushes pushed over and just this trail. You can tell it was probably some type of animal trail, that they're just a huge swath of them. And then your dark vision 60 feet.
Yeah.
So you get within, I mean, you feel like you're in the middle of them. There's so much noise. And then just at the edge of your vision in the dim light, you see what looks to be like the backs of 10 Norkers marching forward.
All right, I can't see past them though.
This is like the absolute edge. You haven't. I'm giving you a chance to decide what you're going to do.
He'll
see
move
the
up
backs
closer
of
and try to
10
get a
Norkers.
count on what kind of composition they've got up there, but he won't. He's not going to overtake.
Say that again. There was a lot of noise.
He's going to get closer, try to get an idea of how many are up there, but not overtake.
Yeah. So as you continue kind of following up, you're using trees, you're using shadows, and you see it's a rank of Norkers, 10 of them. Then there's a second rank, and there's a third rank, and there's a fourth rank. And then it seems to be that's a group of them marching, and there's clearly noises coming from further ahead of them, but you don't see. There must be a bigger gap between them and that.
Okay, I'll sit still and wait for the rest of the group to come up, and then fill them in on what.
All right, you wait 10 minutes and you don't see them. I think they're waiting for you.
No, we were moving up.
Okay.
Slowly and stealthily.
All right. So yeah, after many minutes of them slowly, stealthily moving up, you see them coming. They don't see you. You're hidden.
I don't surprise them.
Wow. Smite.
Did you see any of the wolves?
No wolves. Just Norkers.
So at that point, you counted 40. Marching in a unit, 10, 4 ranks of 10.
It's a lot of Norkers.
Do we want to go around the edges to see if we can find the wolves? Just to locate them.
Well, we're right here. Are the wolf tracks still here?
I'll go off to the side where the wolf tracks were and see if we can find them again.
Sure. Survival check.
$24.
Yeah, it takes you a little bit, but you do pick up on, again, these tracks that seem to be parallel to this main trail. And you're probably you're guessing. I mean, you just pick one of the, I don't know, did you pick north or south?
The left of wherever we're pointing.
So
if
north.
we were going east, it would be north.
Okay, so on the north side, as you're looking, you're picking out different tracks, and you're guessing maybe you're seeing maybe anywhere from 5 to 10 wolf tracks.
I will go back to the party and let them know. There's, at least on the north side, guys, there's 5 to 10 wolves.
And they see, I should like to find these wolves.
It could be the wolves we met to the south when we were going to the Red Dragon lair.
Indeed. I have powerful magics to communicate with them. They could be our allies. Did the
Let's go fight
Norkers
them
seem
then.
aware of you?
No. They march on the Abbey, though.
About how far away from the Abbey are we right now?
Probably just a few hours.
Okay.
We should make ready for battle. There will be no rest this evening, only blood and fear.
Are there any
Rock
kind of
and roll
like
line,
watchtowers or anything on the like the as far as the layout, like are there any like watchtowers that might be kind of watching this valley or this area where they might notice a disturbance from the Abbey? I don't know too much about the layout.
It's the one is on the left. Is what it looks like at the moment. Oh, did I move you guys to it? There you go.
Okay.
Rock.
Having walked these lands, do I suppose that if I were to light one of these trees on fire, that might be visible from the outpost? Or are we outside of that kind of visual range?
No, not with two hours of walking distance. I don't think you would.
Okay.
You would see that.
Then I will keep that thought to myself for a while.
Yeah, 2 hours on a flat track, normal walking speed would get you 6 miles. So harder terrain would probably be 3. And it's uneven, so seeing 3 miles might be difficult.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the Abbey was like up on a hill or something like that overlooking the area.
It is at the edge. It's right at the edge of the forest, but the problem is where it thins out and turns into a giant plain is to the north of the Abbey. To the west of the Abbey, which is where you guys are, it's all heavy forest. Heavier than like the forest we have right outside our houses. Deep, heavy, long-term, 1,000-year-old forests and lots of elevation change.
So attack them. Still the plan. Yeah.
Rock. Find me the wolves.
Points in that direction. That the wolves are that way. How will we find them?
We could attempt to follow the tracks.
If we move to the
You're both better
outskirts
trackers
of this
than I am.
host, if we move to the outskirts of this host, perhaps we can find them. I have something. And with this said, I'm going to use a druid craft to create light in the area here, like a waning like sunlight. It's not like enough to illuminate a whole lot of area, but just enough to illuminate the area the ground that I'm looking at, and I'm going to look for these wolf tracks.
All right, well, I mean, Eingar could point some out to you.
Okay. I would like to try to use my survival to track them.
For you to track, you will need to keep a light source up.
I will once I've looked at their, like, I want to illuminate this and then I'm going to light it and track them.
Yeah, they're running completely parallel, heading due east, just like the tracks that you guys were following.
How far do they seem to be from the bad guys?
Seems like they keep about a football field-ish apart.
To
So
the
100
north?
yards or so. Yeah.
I do not think these wolves are their friends. We must find them. And with that,
Oh, actually,
you
just rolled a 28. You're looking at the tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a natural 20. You have light so that you can actually see. The tracks are definitely direwolf tracks. I think something about them that you pick up is these are being ridden.
Well, that changes everything.
That was a good roll.
Let me take that back about them being not friends. I'm pretty sure that it's their scout. But we should still go that way. And I am going to unveil the drift globe and look to my friends to see if they have any qualms about it and start heading that way.
Rock pulls his hood back up, takes off out in front.
Okay.
And I'm going to move the drift globe a bit off, like, it's not going to be like in the middle of us. It's going to be like off to the side. So that if it does get noticed, it's not going to be like illuminating my friend.
What is it going to illuminate?
We are going to use, it's going to be off to, so if the bad guys are over here and we're here, the drift globe is going to be off to this side, illuminating our track. So that if they see the drift globe, it's going to be a little further from those guys. Does that make sense?
Sure. So to be functional for you to use so that you can move and see, how close are you going to have it to you? What's the range?
Well, I guess it's going to be right next to me. So none of that matters.
I mean, sure. Just how many feet away are you going to place it?
20.
Okay. All right. So, and now you are on the north side of the main trail, or you've gone somewhere else?
Following them wolf tracks.
You're following the dire wolves. Gotcha. All right. So you guys start approaching again. You're moving as quickly as you can. Rock is out in front. I think the first thing that would happen is, I think, Rock, you would eventually catch sight of a humanoid riding on the back of a dire wolf. Seems to be kind of trotting, and not really a good pace, but not running or anything like that. And you see one person.
All by himself.
I mean, it's the first thing you see.
I will keep pace with him.
Okay.
And I'll break some stuff behind me so those guys have an easier time following the.
Do you move any closer, or do you just stay at that 60-foot distance?
No, I'm going to pace him.
Okay. Okay. How close are you getting? Let me say it that way.
50 feet.
Okay. You give me a perception check. This would be for hearing. I don't think you have anything special for hearing, but 23. Good roll. You hear noises of others around. You think they're either further north or just ahead of the one you see.
Like a picket line of wolves moving through the.
Yeah, I mean, there's clearly something moving. And it's quiet and it's hard to hear. You're only picking up a little sound here that gives it away, and then silence, and a little sound that gives it away. I mean, they're dire wolves moving through a forest. They don't make a ton of noise.
All right. I will stop and wait for them to catch.
Just as you're kind of stopping and you're waiting for them to catch up, and you notice the one out in front of you, the dire wolf stops and it starts sniffing the air.
I do not move.
You realized the wind is blowing from your back.
You're fucked.
I will start backing away slowly. Going across.
Go ahead and give me your
Crosswind.
stealth roll.
22.
Okay. And you're heading back to your group?
Gonna get out of the being downwind from a wolf. So I guess I'm moving southeast.
Okay, you can, but you might miss your group if you do.
My group's got a light going.
Well, yeah, you'll see them.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna spot them.
All right,
So,
so
yeah.
so you start moving southeast. You lose vision of the direwolf, and it was at the, it's a humanoid. It's a medium-sized humanoid, but you weren't close enough to get a good look at it. Oh no, you said 50 feet, right?
Yep.
I think that'd have been close enough. You know that there was a knoll riding the direwolf.
Doggone wolf action.
Had a longbow out, arrow knocked, traveling, and then you fade back away. You lose sight of them, and then as you're kind of moving, kind of in that diagonal line, you see the small bob of a drift globe in the woods to your left, I guess. Or no. Since you're moving back, it'd be to your right.
All right. I will then keep moving parallel with the dire wolf. If it's going to notice them, I'm going to try to time it. If it attacks them, I'll attack it.
You're going to parallel them?
The wolf. Since
You
I'm
can't
off
see
its
them.
if I'm off its scent line, I'll keep moving. And this is hard to do visually. I'm going to get into a position where I can attack the wolf if it attacks Albirex.
Well, you move back far enough that you don't see the wolf or the rider.
I'll use its former position and make an assumption that it's still.
Okay, so you kind of move. How long do you wait between moving away and then going back? How long is it out of your vision?
How long did it take for them to catch up?
You were moving pretty quick, so they were still definitely maybe like 10 minutes behind.
I'll do 5 minutes, and then I'll keep moving.
All right, so you move back up, and you don't see. You kind of go back to that spot that you were at where you had hid and hunkered down, and you don't see any sign of a rider and a direwolf.
Then I'll keep moving on down the trail, following the wolves. Conscious of the wind.
I'm gonna, with the drift globe moving along, I'm gonna look to Tristan. We need to get up there. I can do something with these wolves and turn them against our enemies.
Well, I mean, if we run up and you don't get them right away, they sound an alarm, which is bad. But and I can't see anything because it's dark, so that's kind of a bummer.
We have this in the motion of the drift globe.
Yeah, that
This
gives
is
us
our chance.
20, 40 feet, right? It's like a torch.
Yeah. Yes.
Rock is still going with the assumption that we're attacking the army when it hits the.
Yeah, they're moving in close enough formation that if we aggro them at all, we're gonna get swamped.
Then I guess we just creep along and wait until the time where the moment is right. Let's do that then. But I want.
So you continue to move forward?
Yeah.
And keeping pace or trying to catch up?
Is Albirex still wanting to sneak up on one of the wolves, or?
I'll move as fast as I can without messing up my stealth in an attempt to catch up and pay attention to the wind.
Well, it's definitely coming from your back. So you just move until you catch sight of them again?
Yeah. I'll try to keep closer to the than 100 feet.
Okay. You're kind of moving up. And you are moving fast enough. You're moving. You're looking for them, and you realize that you are now far enough up that directly to your right or directly south of you is you can hear the Norker unit moving. It's like you're directly north of them.
Okay. I'll stop there. I don't want to really reveal myself to anybody at this point. All I'm doing is keeping pace and going with the plan.
All right. Mistletoe and Vormar. Perception checks, please. And this is for hearing. You were at the back. Oh. So he gets a 15?
For smelling, yes.
Okay. So you hear a noise, and as you're turning, you kind of see out of the corner of your eye Vormir pick up a scent, and he begins to turn. And you he kind of whispers to you he smells a wolf. And you look behind you, but you don't see anything. You heard the snap of a twig that even though there's a lot of noise going on, there's the horse in front of you, there's the two that are having, trying to be quiet, but it's at night through a forest with a drift globe. Even though they're making some noise, but they're doing a pretty good job of not being too loud. There's beating drums up ahead. You still heard a sound behind that was out of place.
Did I get a sense on how far behind?
Nope.
Okay.
It doesn't travel like that. Like you just know it was behind you, and it was like your head was going to whip around. And when you're looking, you don't see anything within 60 feet, but you heard a noise behind you.
I'm going to throw my cloak at the drift globe, and then put my back up against a tree and crouch down and try and actively get a sense of what's going on, and kind of make hand motions towards the people as they notice that I'm throwing a blanket on the drift globe.
So a cloak launches itself, puts the night globe out. Alberix and Tristan have stars in their eyes. It just goes, it's like a light out. And Eingar, you're probably far enough ahead that you've realized the group is stopped, and you're looking, just trying to figure out what's going on. Nobody sees Rock at this point. And Vormir's sniffing the air, and Mistletoe, you hear another sound, and it's almost the same sound Vormar is making.
Okay. I'm going to crawl back to Albiorix and Tristan and whisper in their ears that something is around us, and that it's tracking us, that they're coming closer and it's sniffing.
Whatever it is, it will be here soon.
If I start a fight, it gets very, very bright very, very quickly.
You have to do that always?
Alberix and Tristan and Eingar can make perception checks. This is for hearing. Faintly, but each of you also can hear sounds that are happening like to the south of you, and a little bit of sounds that are happening on this edge.
So it's like
Oh.
we're being surrounded.
Well, the sounds are coming from.
If it's the wolves, let them come. I would welcome their company. And then he kind of winks in the dark.
I'm a little bit more concerned about the ones who come with the wolves.
And initiative roll. Select your tokens. And what I need.
Ever patient.
I need my direwall. I'll go with that. So they'll go. So we need to know. All right. Let's see. Descending. Token layer. Token layer. All right. So you guys are not surprised. So this is all happening. You guys are just saying those last few sentences you're saying. You're crouched around each other. There's a drifting snow globe with a cloak on top of it at the moment. And then bursting out of the bushes, the trees, the shadows, comes bounding a huge wolf and what seems to be like a rider heading towards the group. Let me go to objects and tokens here. So imagine that the knoll is on the wolf. I just want to have both tokens just in case. So it charges up out of, and it was probably only about 40-ish feet away. It's just obscured by the heavy foliage, the bushes, the way the terrain is, and then it just comes streaking out with the rider hunched down low over it, and it basically looks like it's just like running like this as it's going to make a pass here. So it goes streaking past you guys. So let's see. So it has that. So it was about 40 feet away. It goes 40 feet from mistletoe. So it goes 10 feet past mistletoe. It's using a dash, and then it goes another 50 feet. So it's out. So it just goes skirting through. The knoll on the back tries to swipe at mistletoe as he goes by with his weapon. Tries to put a spear in mistletoe.
Is he swinging or throwing that spear?
He's reaching out 10 feet to...
Okay.
It's all normal, so we'll just go 23.
Definitely hit.
All right. 7 piercing. As it streaks back off, it goes another, like, you lose sight of it, mistletoe, but probably it would still be in the sight line of Eingar. Definitely out of sight of Alberix and Tristan, and even Vormir. It's too far out. So it's probably, let's see, it was 10 feet from here was its movement. It dashed another 50 feet. So it's 50 feet past Eingar. So even though I'm going to put it right here, $50 feet. Off to the edges.
So he's in my dim vision. So I've got 60-60.
Well, I'm saying that between you guys here is probably already Eingar's probably, I don't know, 15 feet ahead of you. So that's 65 feet.
Right, but if I have 60 bright and then 60 dim, he'd be like, I have like a general shape of where he is.
No, you're in darkness. You don't have 120, right?
I can see in dim light within 60 feet as if it were bright, and darkness as if it were dim.
Yeah, you're in
Okay,
darkness, so you're seeing 60 feet of dim.
Gotcha.
I mean, you'll still be able to move. I mean, I'm just saying at this moment, it streaked past you, spear shot into your shoulder, and then it zoomed off back into the darkness. And then from the sides, we hear some arrows.
Uh-oh.
So we get 2 arrows towards Tom. Oh, good rolls tonight. For 9 piercing and 8 piercing if they get through your armor. I think they do. And then 2 arrows streak out towards Vormar. Both missing as he kind of whips around, hearing the twang of the string on the bow, hunches down ready for combat, weapons out, and arrows streak past him and past Mistletoe off into the forest. Tristan is up.
So let me get this straight. It's dark, so I can't see. I don't know where the guys that shot me with the arrows are from, and the wolf ran out of our range.
You know the arrows hit you on your right side.
Okay. Then I'm going to spur my horse that direction. I'm not just going to stand here in the darkness like a moron and be a pincushion. So I'll run it out to 60 feet. What do I find?
Are you leaving it dark, or are you going to do something to give you vision?
I'm assuming, is it dark, or is it moonlight?
Yeah, no, you're like walking through the forest in your backyard at night.
Yeah, fine. Fuck it. I turned my my sword into a vengeance sword kind of thing and light things up.
All right. Yeah, within, you see them. As soon as you do that, you wheel your horse to the right, and your light picks them up as you get. You only have to move about 10 feet, and then your light picks them up at the edge. So they were sitting about 35-ish, 40-ish feet from you when they fired. And I'll put them over here. Give me a second. Control C. And so they were, well, we'll say exactly, they were 35 feet from you. So you wheel your horse and move however far you want to move.
Okay. Then I'll get up into their faces. My pulling or turning my weapon into a flaming magic sword pretty much uses all my action.
All right, so you get into melee range, and then you're engaged with them, with one of them at this point.
Yep.
Okay. Mistletoe's up. Now, because of his light, you can see that group.
Okay.
And actually, you can see that there was like a kind of small ridge line that you now notice, and they came up out of that ridge line and fired, and that's when you saw them, because you're 60 foot of dark vision would have caught them coming up out of a ravine, almost like some type of depression must be over there. They came up out and shot.
Okay. Now, the one that did the ride-by attack, he was heading towards where I know the main column of troops is, right? That's north of us?
Let me put the... oh, that's a terrible arrow. What am I doing?
Use the worst arrows.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm going to kind of click my heels together and take off with a burst of bullshit monk speed using Step of the Wind to move 90 feet after this guy. How close am I able to get to him?
He was 65 feet from you.
Okay. So yeah, basically I'm going to run and make a flying leap and try and get up in his grill, like on the back of the wolf with my short sword. Try and keep it non-glowy.
That's sweet.
All right, so your movement is how far?
90 feet.
Well, what's your normal movement?
45.
Okay, and then you do what to get more?
Step of the Wind. So I burn a key point.
Okay, burn a key point is a bonus
be
action?
able to take a dash as my bonus action.
Okay, so there you go. So bonus action, dash to get more. Okay, so yeah, so you've used your movement, your bonus action. You want to attack. Now I'm treating them like mounted, just like the mounted rules. So
Okay.
you attack them as a group, and they decide who you're hitting, just like Tom does. When something tries to hit him, he decides if it's hitting him or his horse or whatever. So we're just using the same kind of mounted rules. So you attack, and you pull your sword out as you go. You leap, and you make a single attack.
Two. I still have
Two attacks
per round.
All right.
Because short sword is a monk weapon, so I can use my martial arts stuff with it. But thematically, I'm trying to like jump up on the back behind him, like straight up, like that Two Towers warg fight, and stab him repeatedly in the back.
All right. Let's see how the attempts happen.
17 and a 21 to hit.
Yeah, those will hit the knoll for sure.
16 points of piercing damage.
Okay. You can tell that he has a shield and he has like a spear. But you were able to bypass that. The shield almost gets in the way of one of your sword shots, but you maneuver it just past it. And you just, two big slashes, blood starts pouring out. The dire wolf starts growling. It looks like it's going to maneuver. You realize that this doesn't kill the knoll as you make those two, and you've almost got like a foot on the back of the dire wolf.
Okay,
What are you
try
gonna
and
do?
push off with the rest of my movement and try and like get up into the branches of one of the trees above us? Like,
Oh, that is
up with the
freaking
last,
cool,
like,
dude.
20 feet.
Okay. So let's do you could use acrobatics would probably.
19.
Your foot hits the back of the dire wolf. You push off. It tries to move as if it's going to snap at you, but you're too quick. You're already moving. I'm going to say that you don't necessarily see a branch to get up into tree-wise, even though you are able to leap and then make enough movement without even stumbling, without even using up any more movement space. You can use the rest of your movement to position yourself.
Okay. Is there any kind of like shrubbery or bushes I could dive into or anything like that?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to dive into whatever the nearest thick bush is and try and stay away from the large snapping jaws of the giant wolf.
Okay. So there's bushes all around. How many feet do you want to be away from the wolf?
I want to stay pretty close to this guy.
So give me a distance.
I I don't want to leave his spear's reach, so I'm going to stay within 10 feet. Just basically, if I can kick off and there's a collection of bushes right there that kind of shield me a little bit, I'm going to dive into those.
But you're going to stay within 10
feet. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not too far. Okay. All right, anything else for Mistletoe?
Nope.
Vormar. I'll let you run him.
Okay, yeah, he'd have vision, so he is going to truck it. What's the distance from him to that rise? It says about 60 feet?
Going which direction? Going south?
Going towards where Tom is in that collection.
Those are 35 feet away.
Okay. And he is going to run up, and he is going to swing the Warhammer two-handed and try and bat that knoll off the top of it.
Now on his character he does, I believe, 1 axe, 1 hammer, 1 bite, right?
Has 3 attacks per round, 2 with any weapon that is in his hand, and 1 bite.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess you can choose. Yep, sorry. I mean, he usually attacks with 1 axe, 1 hammer, and then a bite. It's just
fair enough. I can roll it back if that's what you want.
Nope, those are all good hits. Go ahead.
Is he raging?
He is not. Because he only has 1 prolonged rest. So it's 22 points of damage.
Yeah, so we see the Warhammer hit, the axe bite deep, and then it's the crushing of his jaws as he rips the knoll off of the direwolf, who is snapping at him at the same time, and just decimates that knoll, drops to the ground dead. As almost like he grabbed his neck and just shook him, and it snapped his neck and he fell down.
I love that dude.
Anything else for Vormar?
No, sir.
Mr. Rock, perception check. All right. You're not going to react this round. You're waiting for your group to catch up. Albrix, you're up.
How far are the dudes on Tristan's side? 35 feet?
Those 2 front direwolves are 35 feet from you.
Well,
right. Tristan was to your right, so let's say they're 40 feet.
So I'm going to move up here. And as he moves up, the glow from the flashing sword as it moves about illuminates the wolves and the. I am going to cast Animal Friendship. So I am going to use my Speech of the Woods to call out to these animals, and it's wreathed with sylvan intones as I tell them, we are here, we are for the same cause, you should join us. They need to make a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by me.
And it's a beast.
Yeah, so I'm going to do the first 2 wolves. The front 2 wolves.
It's 1 creature.
But if I cast it at 2nd level, so I get an additional beast for each slot.
Oh, I gotcha.
So they have to make a spell save DC 16 wisdom save.
Normal.
Ooh, that fucking beast.
He's pissed off because Vormar just ate his friend.
So, well, yeah, the one to the this one shakes your spell off, doesn't react. This one kind of sees you and growls at Vormar.
Do not harm the wolves, I call out to my friends. And I don't know how you want to do this with this wolf, but I want him to come to me so I can get on top of him.
Well, this spell lets you convince a beast that you mean it no harm. Not it's going to fight for you and be your buddy.
It's charmed, isn't it?
I'm just reading the top part. It says, this spell lets you convince a beast that you mean it no harm.
Okay.
So to me, if it right now believes you don't mean it harm.
But it can hear my words, so I can speak with animals. And I'm telling it that we're not his enemies. So I would think that he wouldn't attack us.
We'll see.
Okie dokie.
Anything else for Alberix?
That's my turn.
All right. Eingar with a 3, bottom of the round. You were up. Your whole party is just all over the place at this point.
This rider goes flashing by up here. So I'm going to track him with the crossbow. And first I'm going to use a bonus action and put Hunter's Mark on him. And then I'm going to shoot at him with the crossbow.
All right, fire away. Crossbow bolt goes flying into the woods.
Here we go again.
Second crossbow bolt. And it might be because as Mistletoe you see leaping off of the wolf is changing its position. And as it tries to snap at Mistletoe, your arrow goes wide. And then this creature spins around, sees that arrow, and he kind of puts his shield up. And you see it, your arrow hit the shield as it sees you. Anything else for Eingar?
Nope, that's it.
All right, top of the round. This dashes forward off into the forest, and both of you lose sight of him. Gets further than 60 feet of range. You lose sight.
I still know where he is, though, right? Since I have.
You know he's to the east. You don't see him.
Yeah.
These ones kind of move, adjust. Yeah. All right, so let's get that's going to be an arrow towards Tristan. Start at the top here. Longbow. Oh, I'm rolling pretty good, guys. 6 piercing. Let's get the archers out of the way. An archer towards Vormar. Oh, crits Vormar. For 13 piercing. The wolf in front of Vormar growls and backs up a step. This gnoll and this wolf will take a bite at Tristan. I assume, Tristan, you're making sure that all this is going towards you and not your horse, is my assumption. You tell me if I'm wrong.
So far.
Okay. I'll let you decide when what happens there. So we get a gnoll interaction with a spear. So he's just going to do a spear attack. He dropped his bow. 13, I assume, misses. and the direwolf tries to bite at you. Rolls a 7. You're able to maneuver your horse. And so there's like this dance of you on your horse, sword blazing, and it with a spear and a shield and snapping jaws of a direwolf, but making no contact. Tristan's up.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to down this guy. Ugh. And then the horse. What is the horse's abilities?
So longsword smashes against. He gets the shield in hand while you're doing that, and then he hits your hand almost as if you kind of almost lose grip on your sword, but you grab it just tight enough, and it screws up your second swing at him. It's almost like you just throw an off backhand, but you're more trying to grip your sword than anything.
You get your charisma bonus on your attack as well.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. My sword's magical, so I should add 3 to that for each of those. But the one's still a 1.
Oh, instead of the +8?
The +8's my norm.
So you get +11?
Yep. Because I'm using the thing that makes my sword glow is the divinity action thing, which makes the sword magical, so it becomes a +3 sword. It picks up the charisma bonus.
Okay, so +11 is your full. Because I see a +3 there. Is that a different +3?
That's his proficiency.
My normal is a +8 overall. With
Gotcha.
this running,
Strength,
it should be 11.
Proficiency. Gotcha.
Right. +5 from strength.
So yeah, there's definitely one hit. So for 11 slashing.
Yep. And yeah, does it add the damage or just to hit?
If it makes it a +3 weapon, that would be
just
+3
it's just to
damage.
hit. It's not to damage.
Okay.
Yep. And then the horse is a +6 to a hit on a roll. So you would roll a 12, which probably won't hit anything.
No. All right. Anything else for Tristan?
Nope.
All right. Mistletoe is up.
All right. I'm gonna first take my 45 feet of movement, tearing off after that guy. Do I see him at the end of that movement?
It went 100 feet. So I think you at 45.
Yeah, I'd see him at the edge of it.
I think you would see, just at the very edge, maybe. And that's, I mean, the reality is there's trees, there's bushes, you're in a dark forest. You might catch the edge of it, but it's not like you get like it's not on a road or something.
Yeah. Shit. Did I have a sense of how far ahead the main column of gnolls was from us? Based on the drums and whatnot?
Not necessarily, because none of you have moved close enough to the column except Rock to have a good visual kind of in your mind how far you are. You just know that you're behind them.
Fuck. So do I risk a light show and alerting them, or do I risk this guy riding into them and telling him where we are? Fuck.
Dude, they didn't see the drift globe.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna burn another step of the wind to get within 30 feet. And I'm going to send a blast at the back of his head.
All right, so you moved, key, point. You're going to use your bonus action, and you're going to attack.
Yeah.
As an action.
17 and 21 to hit again.
Yep, 2 hits.
12 more points of damage.
Did you damage him last round?
Yeah, I stabbed him twice. I think I did.
Going back, I didn't write it down. Why did I write that down?
Let me scroll up just a second.
16.
I did 16 points last
16.
round.
All right, so that would have been all right. You notice that he is hunkered down on the wolf, and both of the blasts hit the wolf.
God damn it.
So you did 12 radiant to the direwolf. Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Vormar's up. And while he's going rock, you can go ahead and make your perception check with advantage. 18. All right. You hear definitely a commotion to the west of where you were waiting for your group, back towards the way your group was.
Do I see Tristan's sword light up the sky?
No, there's enough foliage between you and them, and you must be far enough still waiting for them to have caught up that you don't see any light yet. You don't see any light.
I'll keep my hood up and stealthily move back towards.
All right. So Vormar.
All right, so the wolf that's directly in front of him has backed up a little bit.
And Albirix told him not to attack the wolf.
Right, but that wolf is not actively threatening. It's kind of backed away and it's kind of looking confused.
It's definitely threatening Vormar.
Okay, like it's.
But
like it's
it didn't attack him. It didn't attack him.
Okay, and how far away is the one to the south?
It maneuvered, so it kind of stayed about 40-ish feet.
Okay, then he's gonna take off after that and try and replicate his previous brutally murder the rider trick. So there's a 16 to hit with the first swing, a critical on the second, and a 24 with the bite attack.
Yep, 3 hits.
Jiminy Christmas.
35, I think. 35 points of total damage.
Yeah, it's almost like a replication of the first attack where the warhammer hits, the axe digs in, and then the just those 2 attacks nearly takes its life, and then the bite just comes in, grabs it again, and just wrenches out huge portion of flesh, and blood bursts everywhere, and he just topples to the ground.
Yeah, basically destabilizes him with a hammer and grabs him and pulls him off the wolf and throws him to the ground, quietly howling his defense. And that'll be it for him.
All right. So Rock, you hear commotion.
I'm gonna move towards that commotion stealthily until I see it.
Okay, so give me a stealth roll for movement. Okay, give me 1 second. Let's go. Oh, yeah. All right, so you move 30 feet, which is your move. Or wait, what is your movement?
40 feet.
40. Sorry, so you move 40 feet and You hear a noise, a panting, padding of feet, and it's probably, just off to your, I would say, like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock position. Something's racing through the forest.
He will get a grip on his axe, and is he in a position to swing at it? Is it coming at?
You don't see anything. You hear it.
Well, we'll keep listening. Be ready to hit it if it comes close.
So hold action.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just for the record, he's not going to. He thinks he may have some connection with the dire wolves or the wolves of this land, so he won't attack a wolf. But if he sees a rider on a wolf, he'll mow him.
All right. That brings us to Albrix.
All right, Alberix is going to step up to here. How far is the North Wolf and the South Wolf from him?
The one that's fighting.
So the one up here.
Yeah, so that is easily 45, 50 feet from you.
What about these two up top?
The one next to Tom is only 10 feet away. The one where Vormir is 40, 45 feet away.
What about the one at the top here?
Yeah, 45 feet.
I'm going to move past this wolf over here so that I got both these wolves in 35 feet. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can get within. Well, what's your
30
movement?
feet. My move is 30 feet. I started right here.
You could do that, but you're going to be closer to this person.
That guy right there?
Yeah.
Like, is he getting an attack on me?
You don't know.
All right, well, I'm going to move up and cast Animal Friendship on both these wolves here.
Okay. Let's do wisdom and wisdom. So the north one makes it. And the other one already passed it. Doesn't really say anything about just recasting it, I guess. No, it doesn't say anything. Yeah, so this one is here's what you say, and as you tell it, you don't mean it any harm.
I say we don't mean you any harm. And then if I have any movement at all left, I'm going to use my words. I'm going to persuade this wolf to let me get on him. So he's charmed, but I still got a 7 because I have advantage. I don't know if he wants to do that or not.
Well, what was your animal handling bonus? Because it would have been animal handling, not persuasion. Not another roll, but
all right. So my animal handling bonus is 5.
Is a 5. I
have
don't think that's
advantage
enough.
because he's charmed.
Yeah. That's not enough for it to it definitely trusts that you're not going to harm it. Even though there's battle happening all over. but I don't think it's not going to let you just ride it.
Sure. So in the middle of all this, Alberix kind of puts his shield and his staff out and lets this all happen, but he's opening himself to these wolves to try to convince them that he means them no harm. And that's my turn.
All right. Igar, you were up.
Can I tell if that one that I missed shooting at is still alive?
No, he's like 150 feet from you. Oh, yes.
Because I have
Your
hunter's mark on me.
hunter's mark, I think, you would feel a concentration of that, I think, still being.
All right. Well, I'm not going to run after him. I'm going to turn and shoot at the guy that Tristan is fighting over here.
Okay.
Is he damaged?
Yes, Tristan did hit him.
Okay. 23.
Yep, that hits.
And an 8. Okay, well, we got the 11 points of damage to him.
Yeah, the arrow sinks into his chest and takes him off of the back of the direwolf.
Okay, and I am going to move a little bit closer and move this way a little. Okay, that's it.
All right. So perception check for Rock. You see a wolf with a humanoid rider 25 feet from where you are, racing through the forest. You get a glimpse of them as it dives past trees and bushes. It doesn't seem to notice you as it's moving to the east.
I will move to intercept.
You held your action to attack. Are you going to attack?
Can I attack with a move? Or do I have to throw something?
You're going to throw. Yeah, this is a throw something.
All right, I guess I'll throw a javelin.
Okay.
Can I throw more than one?
Held action is a single attack. But that does hit.
6 only. Not raged.
Okay. You hear a grunt. You know you hit, but then as that happens, it keeps going.
Hey, Lucian.
Yep.
One thing. So for mounted combat, they can make attacks on the mount hit them. They can't make attacks on them hit the mount.
Yeah. I know.
Cool.
So this one interacts. We hear the sound of a horn and takes off, and you lose sight of him into the forest. And they had due south, and they just they sprint dash off into the woods. Tristan.
Well, I think it's probably time to collect everybody and move. We don't want to be here when whatever they alert comes back.
Okay,
So I've got 8 more rounds before my sword goes out, unless I turn it off early. So I guess I'll be a focal point to collect people.
Okay.
So, and then we'll load up what we need to and do whatever we're gonna do next.
All right, Mistletoe.
I'm not going to burn more key points in this guy. I'm just going to double dash back to where we were.
Okay, so just move dash as
Yep.
your action. Got it. Vormar. That's you, Cedric.
Oh, yeah, that wolf ran off.
Yeah, dash straight
Um,
south, back into the woods.
He'll head back.
All right. Rock.
I will head back towards where I think the party is. Still maintaining my stealth.
Yeah, you're only moving at 40 stealth. You're still 2 rounds from where they are, at least. Probably more than that. That's only 12 seconds. You're probably 5 minutes away or something. I don't know. That probably doesn't make any sense with time now that I think about it, but you were probably further ahead than, but I wanted to give you a chance at the wolf. We'll say that happened 5 minutes after Mistletoe lost sight of him. Albrix.
I am going to stay where I'm at inside of the Tristan's light, but we'll bum my wolf ran off. I thought we were cool.
I think you would recognize that that spell is definitely going to be very successful against wild creatures. These were obviously trained creatures, and certain things are still going to trigger them. So the horn, obviously, as it was looking at you, it wasn't going to attack you. It was trying to figure out what you were doing. And then the horn, you could just see the look. It just obeyed. It's just natural for it to know. It does what it's told. That's the way it's been. So it's kind of dealing with something that's a little different.
Sure. So I'm going to back up into Tristan's light and make ready for what's next.
Okay, so Pelennor, are you getting with the group? Because if then we'll just drop out of
Yep,
turn order.
I'm getting with the group.
Okay,
And
so we're out of
yes,
turn
we'll move
order.
on.
Move all turns. Within 2 to 3 minutes, Rock, you come upon the group.
We should go north.
Yeah.
Some direction I'm not expecting. Go back to the plan. Attack them from behind when they hit the Abbey.
We should move parallel to the Abbey, or parallel to the column.
We can't. They know we're here. We're gonna get mobbed by a pack of wolves and God knows how many Norkers. We have to just run. Otherwise, we're gonna die out here and achieve nothing.
I vote north or south, not east.
Yeah, south. It's where the wolves ran off to, so we know at least those are unmounted.
Go west far enough so we can get behind them, and then go south.
Well, we're already behind them, right? We're on the trail.
I
between the
thought we
trails.
were paralleled with them, like to the side of them.
My understanding is we were west of them, and they were east.
Southwest. Southwest.
We could go to the south behind them then, and then around the other side.
Yeah, I guess if this is the trail, right? You guys had been following tracks that were kind of running parallel. And so then you got attacked while kind of following these tracks.
If we run south, we go into where they are, or where they've already passed. So I was saying, if we go north, we at least go into fresh territory. If we go east, we're just following them.
We go this way, right? Over towards here.
I'm willing to defer to Rock. He was the one that was scouting, so.
I'll follow
Yeah.
Rock.
I'll follow Rock.
I hate Rock.
Rock hates you all.
Does that help?
Back to the plan.
All right, so how much distance do you want to make from the trail? This trail here.
I'd say quite a bit because we already know where they're going.
Quite a bit
So
needs to
we
be a
can move-
number.
Half a mile circle out and around.
Okay, so you guys get about half a mile heading north to get out of that area. Okay. Do you guys... I feel like you'd be smart enough to do this, but I shouldn't have to remind you. But did anybody search the bodies?
I did. I'm a greedy gith.
Greedy Gith, of the people who had money that was at the Black Pyramid and it was lost at the Black Pyramid. Who was that? Raise your hands. Okay. You find a pouch, and when you show it to the group, Tristan recognizes it as his money pouch. Empty, but the rider had it.
I found your pouch, Tristan.
Yeah, it's been defiled. I don't like when other things play with my pouch.
Indeed. Your satchel is empty.
And I think all of you would recognize that they're using it to track you.
North we go. Correct, Rock?
I think so.
All right. So I think that's where we will end tonight to give our players some enough time to really come up with what they're going to do, and what they're going to do about this force that seems to be marching on their home. So that is it. Hope everybody enjoyed it. We've got apparently a battle coming up, so we're going to get to use some cool battle tactics. Unit on unit fighting. I was going to use the strongholds and followers stuff in there, but I think for this battle I'm going to use a little bit of my own kind of homebrew idea of how to run it just for fun. But eventually I do want to use some of the warfare tactics rules out of this eventually, but we'll see how that goes. So there is a undetermined number of Norkers, Gnolls, and Giants on the move, on the march towards the Abbey. The players have stumbled across it just in time and are now deciding what they're going to possibly do about that when we come back. So hopefully next Monday they have a pretty good plan. We play it out and we see who comes out on top. Could be the end of the players in the Abbey. Could be the end of this this force that marches towards them. We'll have to see, so don't miss it. So other than that, we'll see you in the next one. Everybody, I hope you had fun. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Night.
See ya.